Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Today I'm back just to finish up our tutorial last week. We still had the topics we didn't touch yesterday. I want you to listen carefully to the last 3 or 4 of the topics. That's what we're going to do. It's not going to be a long video. Once more, I don't want to do long videos that are going to bore you like I did before. So experience is teaching me that. Today we are taking position fixing. Now we want to fix the position of the ship at sea. How are we going to do that? We did the dead reckonings. We do what? Now, where is this vessel? Remember, the vessel needs to be known where it is at any point in time. Everybody must be able to trace this vessel as it goes. Firstly, you must have 2 or more positions, identified positions, known positions, or sighted positions. And the positions of these 2 objects must be recorded. You take those records to your chart using the bearings, which means you draw the bearing lines or you plot the bearing lines on your chart. Where these 2 bearing lines are meeting, it's where the position fix is, or it will be where the position fix will be. You plot the bearing lines on your chart, and when they cross one another or they intersect one another, usually at right angles to get it very accurately, where they intersect one another, it's where the position of the ship is, or it will be where the position of the ship is. So, which means that you must have sighted 2 positions. So those will be your reference objects. You will take the bearings of those 2 positions to your chart and start plotting the lines, the bearing lines. Now remember, the bearing lines are always in degrees. You remember that. When you are plotting a bearing, the answer you are going to come out on your map is usually in degrees, or it is in degrees. Now, the 2 positions or the 2 sighted positions must be identified correctly, and they must have been measured correctly. Then you'll come out with the correct fix. If it's not like that, your fix will be wrong. You won't know where your ship is. So, having said that, you need this to be correctly measured. That's what you should understand about a position fix. Then, leaving a position fix, we need to go to the other way, the rudder navigation. I've already talked about the rudder. The rudder is in the bridge of your ship. It will be the screen that you'll see. One of the screens you'll see in the bridge of your ship will be the rudder. Now, the rudder determines the distance or the bearing of objects. It can do that. But these objects must be within the radius of the rudder, around the vicinity of the ship, or the radius of the rudder. So all the objects that are around, you will see them in your rudder. So you can be able to determine the distance and the bearing in the rudder itself. Now, which means that you must remember that the rudder, apart from determining the distance or the bearings of objects around in the vicinity. But it has got another role. The role we talked about initially. That role of making a point that the ship doesn't get to accidents. Remember, there could be obstacles there. So everything should be known that is around the ship in order to avoid accidents and incidents. That is another role of the radar. So the objects that are around the vessel can only be those that are picked up by the radar. Then you will see them. Then the pilots and the navigators will find ways of avoiding those objects, to avoid collision. You nobody wants collision when you are sailing. You don't want collision. So those are the two roles of the radar at this stage we have talked about. Then we also have satellite navigation. This one is easier. Even to you, you have your GPS. Your GPS is a satellite navigator. It uses satellite to get you to a position where you want to go, or to get the coordinates of a position. So it will give you, the GPS will give you. It is used also in ships, the GPS. But the ship's one might be too sophisticated. Remember, they are not the same. More than the one that is in your phone. So remember that. Also, we have what we call mental navigation. Mental navigation is about the pilot. It's about the navigators estimating the distances and altitudes by themselves using their common sense. They do that also to avoid navigation errors. They don't only depend on satellite navigations, your radars, and all your automation, the automation that is used, or the technologically advanced equipment that the ship has. They also use their common sense. They estimate sometimes, and they are always right because they are used to the sailing. Ladies and gentlemen, it is very hot today. You can see that I'm sweating. We will end up with those four. We've talked about four things today. That is position fixing. How you use sighted objects, two or more sighted objects. And then you have the measurements, the bearings of those two or more objects. You take those bearings, you go and plot them on your chart. And then it is insisted that your measurements should be correct. You must identify them correctly. You must measure them correctly. And then you take those bearing lines to the chart and start drawing the lines from the chart. Then after you have drawn those lines, you will notice that at a certain stage, they will intersect one another, sometimes at right angles. Then that's how you get the accuracy of the position of the ship. Then I've talked about the radar navigation, where the radar determines the distance or the bearing of objects. And then from there, you know where the position is known because of that, because of the radar is capturing by itself. And then you have also a radar not doing that kind of role. A radar now being used to avoid collisions, because the radar is going to show all objects in the vicinity of the vessel. So that is another role of the radar. Then I've talked about the GPS that will give you the coordinates. And I said the GPS definitely or automatically it uses the satellite. And then I talked lastly about the mental navigation. That is the skill of the pilot and the navigators, officers, everybody in the vessel, where they estimate the distance and come out with the positions. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for today. I promised that I'll come every once a week with a video, whether short or long. You'll get a video. But do yourself a favor, subscribe. Because if you subscribe, any video I'm posting, it will immediately come directly to you, as long as it is edited and also loaded. You get it directly, rather than going and look for my website, my YouTube website. Sometimes others are complaining that they don't see it. I don't know why they don't see it. Me, I see it when I'm entering to it. If you subscribe, you will get the video immediately sent directly to you without funding. And then remember, ladies and gentlemen, young ones, I said all these videos have notes, and those notes I will load them in my website. You'll get them from my website, all the video notes I'm doing. My notes in my website have got more information as compared to the short video I am doing now. Notes will give you more information. I'm advising you that, having listened to what I'm saying, you must get to the notes. You will get the sequence of what I am talking about clearly and with simple English, not British, simple English for your understanding. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen.